Hey, welcome in everybody. It's the Great Old Bushman. It is the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. We got a great show for you tonight. It is our official 2026 season prediction show for the Tampa Bay Rays. But before we get into that, did you know wombats have squared shape poop? Now on to the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rays Rewind with Bell, Bushman, and Drew.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arroyo's arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, game 4 hero.
The sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome everybody to the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm the Great Old Bushman, and joining me as usual as Drew. Make sure to go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe and notification bell when new episodes drop. We still do have the opening day giveaway going on right now, so if we get to 400 subs on YouTube, you'll get that Junior Caminero autographed card. So make sure to go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe bell, and you can have a chance to win that card. So let's get into it. It is our season prediction show for 2026. Lots been happening in the past week or so with the Tampa Bay Rays. Taylor Walls is going to be on the IL for a little bit with an oblique. Carson Williams is looking like to be the opening day shortstop starter. And Ben Williamson is going to be probably having an impact on the team. Nick Martinez looks like a waste of money as of today, having a really bad start against the Toronto Blue Jays. But the state of the Rays, we're going into 2026. Opening day is right around the corner. Lineups are pretty much going to be finalized here pretty soon. We've got also the rotation pretty much solidified already as well. But we're going to get into our predictions, our breakouts, our biggest X factors on this show. So let's get right into it. Drew, what's the state of the Rays right now?
Yeah. Well, the Taylor Walls injury is easily the biggest news that's for the Rays. Honestly, you could say probably all of spring training, the biggest development.
He hadn't really been there.
Taylor Walls?
Yeah, he hadn't really been there.
Well, he was, I believe he had at one point he was already nursing an oblique, if I remember correctly, earlier in the spring, and they kind of took him easy, but everything was fine. And I don't know how many at-bats. I'd have to look. I don't know exactly how many at-bats he had gotten, but I think it's one of those situations where we maybe hadn't seen him in a ton of games, but obviously he had been putting work in the backfields and maybe in some minor league games, that we don't really have much visibility into. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about the team starting shortstop out, with less than a week to go. And really interesting with Carson Williams getting optioned to minor league camp and then within 24 hours being brought back after the Walls injury news hit.
So he pretty much had a home run and then he was hurt right after.
When did he hit? When did he hit that? I forget when he hit that home run. He's had 2 home runs, I think, this spring.
Was it 2? I don't know. He's had
at
least one. I think it was right after he hit that one. He was on the IL. Let me ask you. I know we are kind of Taylor Walls champions per se because of his defensive skills. His bat, not so much. This I wanted to ask you because we didn't really go out and get an impactful shortstop per se. Now we've got Williamson, who's the utility guy, is going to be pretty much playing everywhere. Carson Williams was sent down to the minors before this happened. So we're like, okay, Walls is going to be the starter. Williamson's probably going to be filling in here and there. Now Carson Williams is projected to be the opening starter at shortstop. Going forward, now oblique is usually about 3 to 4 weeks, so Walls is probably going to be out most of April.
Yeah.
Do you think Carson Williams is he going to step up? Is he going to be the breakout shortstop that we think he's going to be, that he's the highly touted prospect? Do you think I'm kind of on the fence about this now because he hasn't had a really good spring. I mean, Carson? He had a home run. He had a home run today. He had an average spring. It wasn't like fantastic. It was okay.
Can you do me a favor? I would love to look. Can you look up real quick? And because I don't want to, I know, I think when I start messing around too much, I start having some lagging issues. Could
Yeah.
you look up his strikeout totals for the spring and
All right.
plate appearances or at bats as well? I think Fangraphs keeps a pretty good running total, or ESPN or MLB. But I mean, if it were up to me, Carson Williams would. He would be great. He would he would take this opportunity and run with it if it were up to me. Now, obviously, it's up to Carson. I think.
All right, here we go. I've got his strikeout. He's reduced it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's had five strikeouts and 24 plate appearances.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, considering I think he was close to 40% in the majors last year.
Yeah, he struck out 5 times in 24 plate appearances. He's 8 for 22.
And now he struck out. Does that might not be the most up to date? I don't know if it has his home run in there from today.
This is as of 3 days ago.
Okay, so I think he's got a couple more appearances since then, but he had his home run today. So first of all, I think it's obvious the Rays don't want Carson. They don't, not that they don't want him to be the starting shortstop. I think that they very clearly wanted him to start in AAA by optioning him off. Obviously, we've known for all offseason, anyone that denied it was just, fooling themselves that Taylor Walls was going to be the starting shortstop. And Ben Williamson obviously was brought in as a utility infielder, or a glove first.
Drew, there's a lot of fools out there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And it would have taken an incredible spring for Carson to supplant Taylor Walls as starting shortstop. I think they are genuinely still, and they were very clear, very careful not to go out and name Carson the starting shortstop right away. I think they're probably trying to, take as much time as they can in making this final decision. I do think there's still a chance they run with Ben Williamson to start. But the issue is I think if they did that, they would probably be going out and getting someone externally.
I was just about to say that because there was talk about them going out and getting an external candidate.
I think if they get someone externally, I think that shows that they'd rather have that person, whoever it is, and Ben Williamson kind of share shortstop and let Ben kind of still be that utility guy and let Carson get the starters minutes, if you will, in AAA. So I think that, this is, a situation where their hands are kind of tied given that it's so close to the season. Do I think Carson is the starting shortstop? I think yes. I think it's unlikely they're able to find somebody externally. I think that there is a part of them, I would imagine, has looked at Carson and seen, I think he's had a good spring training. And it's an encouraging spring training because now, you saw the power today. He hit that off Louis Varland, he's a legit reliever, right? For the Blue Jays, he's one of their better relievers. It's not, a nobody. And, obviously his defense always plays, and he cut down the strikeouts a bunch this spring. I mean, that was the biggest thing is, can he cut down on his strikeouts? Can he stop chasing out of the zone? And I mean, from what I've seen this spring in the few games I've been able to catch on TV and actually looking at his stats, I'm encouraged that hopefully he's able to go into the majors this year with better contact rate, better decision making, and even if his average isn't jumping up a ton, I think if he's just cutting down on strikeouts, you're going to see him on base more. You're going to see his average jump up, and then he's already got that great floor with the defense. So
there isn't really a lot right now for free agents shortstops.
No, it would have to be somebody that off the radar, that gets dropped, or
yeah,
I mean, it would have to be somebody that they just get squeezed out on another team. I don't know. So I do think that they're going to go in with Carson being the shortstop. If you keep Carson up, I think it's just you put him in at starter, at the starting role. You're not going to have him be on the bench. Most of the days you want him. If he's up, he's one of those guys, the Rays top prospects, especially if they would say if he was in the minors, we're going to call him up when we know he can play, when we can get him, an everyday role. So I think the exciting thing about this is that it's really going to be Carson's job to lose as much as Taylor Walls is the starting.
See, that's what I'm hoping. He takes the reins of this and just runs with it because
he's got that opportunity.
It's his job to lose because there really isn't anybody kind of breathing on his neck about taking the job. Now Williamson is going to be there to help out, but like it's kind of Carson's show now. It's like, okay, hey man, it's your job to lose, and I really hope he takes this opportunity and runs with it. I mean, he's a highly touted prospect, and we saw a sample size of what he could be last year. Obviously, he had a lot of strikeouts, but I think going into this season with the improved strikeout rate, I think that's there. He's just got to take the opportunity to run with it, man. And I hope he doesn't like look at it as, man, I've got a bunch of weight on my shoulders. If I mess up, I'm back down in the minors and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And I think that they're going to, I think generally if he's up and playing every day, for the most part, I think they're going to, they'll put him down at the bottom of the order. I think in a low pressure, relatively speaking, in a low pressure spot. But yeah, I think if
here's the thing though, I hope they don't give up on him too early.
Well, yeah,
because you know how they do that. They always like to give up on a prospect too early if he's in that, off the start slump. It's like you got to give him some more plate appearances, man. You got to give him the opportunity. Obviously, he's going to be the everyday guy, but
and I think that's what like I said, if he's up, I think he's going to get most of the starts. It's an opportunity for him. I mean, if he goes out and in the end of March here and throughout all of April, let's say Taylor Walls is back first week of May. I don't know how many games that is, right? But you're talking, just over a month. If he's playing almost every day, Carson Williams, and he's showing some pop, his strikeout numbers are down. He's going to play great defense. Like, I don't think the Rays, if he's playing well enough, I just don't see a situation. I don't see why they would say, okay, we're going to take him out of that role. I think then you're going to find a situation where, okay, what, Taylor's coming back. Like, how do we work this with him and Ben Williamson?
Right.
And that was always going to be kind of a situation, I think, that they were going to have to navigate, because no one expected Carson, if he starts in AAA, to stay there all year. But yeah, I think that's immediately, like we talked about, lack of storylines this spring, not really that exciting. We kind of knew Carson was ticketed for Durham. I think if he starts the season in the majors, I think that immediately becomes one of the biggest storylines to start, is like, can he take advantage of this opportunity that he's got for the first month and run with it, like you said? Because if he does and he comes out, not only do you feel so much better about the lineup, because him succeeding is putting the ball in play and hitting home runs offensively, at least, right? We know defensively good there. So you're talking now, you feel like that lineup just gets a little bit longer, especially in the power department, when this team, we've wondered all offseason and spring training, like outside of Junior and, Jonathan and Yandy to a certain degree, like where's the power going to come from? Yeah. And so Carson is an easy 20 homer guy at a short premium defensive position. So I'm just hopeful that he can take advantage of this opportunity. And I mean, he seems like a great guy, seems like a great, clubhouse guy, whatever. Like I'm rooting for him. And I think that, these things have a way of working themselves out. And he's obviously been, not officially, but I think the writing on the wall is that he's going to be the starter. And yeah, I mean, I think if he succeeds and has a good month, then it's like, okay, can he adjust to when the pitching adjusts to him? And there's more to it, but this first month, if he's able to keep the job once Taylor comes back, that's, I think, a huge boost. That can only mean good things for the Rays and their early season prospects. So
before we get into our next segment, I want to kind of go over with you the guys that were optioned down. Were you surprised with the guys that were optioned? We got Boyle that was sent down, Palacios, Melton, and also Cam Boozer that were sent down to the minors. Were you surprised at any of those? I mean, I think you and I kind of said, hey, out of these guys, most of them are going to be sent down, but we'll probably see them at some point this year. Boyle, he doesn't have a place right now,
right,
for him.
Yeah, he's your first call up.
He's definitely going to be the guy. I think control is one of the things they want him to work on down in Durham, because it's still an issue. And then Melton, it's the strikeout rate, which needs to go down. And I think that was the one thing with him that he needs to work on too as well. But other than that, I think all these guys, I think one big surprise was Cam Boozer.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest surprise. I'm surprised that they went ahead and cut him or optioned him. I know he's got an upward mobility
Trajectory.
clause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe they decide to add him at the end of it all, or he's able to find. But yeah, he's pitched so well this spring. I'm surprised, and
The
it would
good,
be
I think it's the good thing is with all these guys is we're going to see them at some point during the season. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, Boozer, unless he wants to,
Opt
lets
out and go
another
somewhere
team,
else.
yeah,
Yeah.
tries to get him. But I think, I was thinking he would probably make it just because he's got some major league, history. But then, having another lefty in the bullpen, with Clevenger isn't necessarily the worst thing, and he's pitched really well. So I'm hoping that he sticks around, and that they're able to keep him in the minors at least in AAA, because you think he's a guy that they would quickly bring up in a kind of a bullpen shuffle situation.
Yep.
But yeah, the other guys, I mean, Melton, yeah, the strikeouts were way up. And I know he's hit some long home runs this spring, but again, it's just not. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if he hits 2 long home runs just because he hits 2 long home runs. It doesn't. He's not having a great spring if he's striking out almost half the time. So,
Right.
I mean, but he wasn't. There's just no realistic option for him to overtake any of the other guys in the outfield right now.
Hey, and when you got Chandler Simpson hitting home runs,
I know, right? And then, Justin Henry Malloy, I with options left, like, it just doesn't make sense to keep him right now, especially with some other guys available. And then, yeah, I guess Richie Palacios was probably, you could say, is the most surprising in terms of just their,
I'm not surprised.
And they were
I'm
putting
not
him all around
surprised
the
at it.
outfield.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because, it's a crowded outfield as it is. I mean, for him, since you have Williamson now there as a guy that's going to be backing up mostly shortstop and then second base for Lux, he's kind of like another odd man out, which, look, you'll probably see Richie at some point this season as well.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's
does I honestly feel like Richie being, and maybe I'm misinterpreting. I feel like Richie being sent down. I know they put him in the outfield. They put him at third, and obviously he can play second. I kind of feel like that might tip their hand a little bit in terms of Carson, because you would think that, like, if they were going to send Carson back down,
you would bring Richie up.
You'd want Richie up.
Mm-hmm.
To be that kind of guy with Williamson starting at shortstop, to be that kind of utility guy. But I guess, they have Ryan Vilade. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess Richie, just given that he's been with the team, in 24 and played significant time, and then, obviously was hurt a lot last year, but I mean, he's a good player. He'll be up at some point, and I like him a lot. So I'm hoping
I like Richie too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our breakout watch. Who do we think is going to be the breakout star or breakout player to help out the Rays the most this year? I'm going to let you go first, Drew.
Breakout. So I mentioned him just a minute ago, but I think Ryan Vilade is my breakout.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Ryan Vilade. I could sit here and I could read all the deep dives about him. I only know what I've seen really this spring and what I have read about him. So I'm not going to get into. I don't really have a bunch of analytical details to give you about Ryan Vilade.
We're not that type of show. We don't do that here.
I mean, I don't have the time to go through all that. Sometimes, but from what I know about him and what I've seen, I think he's a guy that we're going to look at this year, and we're going to say he's. Not that we wrote him off. Like, I think he was just a name people saw the Rays bring in and was like, okay, I don't know who this guy is. Don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to have a big role in this team. I think, especially, with the Taylor Walls injury, which you wouldn't think, because we just talked about Carson kind of being that 1-for-1 replacement. But, Ryan's going to be a key right-handed bat. We know this team needs right-handed batting in the worst way, right? I mean, obviously Junior and Yandy are at the top of the order, but you think about the outfield being extremely left-handed heavy, and Ryan Vilade's a guy, he can, you think about like a Ben Zobrist type player, right? He plays all over the field except pitcher and catcher, so he's just incredibly flexible defensively. From what I've seen this spring, and again, I admittedly, I haven't been able to catch a ton of spring training games on TV. One, they haven't had many on TV, and two, just again, schedule stuff, but like I've seen him make some great plays on defense. I've seen him make some great plays in the outfield. He started a great double play yesterday. I think it was yesterday at second base. Like, shown enough in the field, made some really eye popping plays that I think he can play anywhere that they need him to play. He's hit the ball well this spring. The advanced numbers, look good. And I think that he's just going to be somebody that they're able to go to more often than not, because of that defensive flexibility, because of their need for right-handed batting. You're going to see him in there against lefties for sure. And then I think you're going to see him, obviously against right-handed pitching at times when needed. So I just think I like what I've seen this spring from him. It's his first opening day roster that he's made. So I think the motivation's there. Not that it's not there with other guys, but I think that it could be one of the situations where this is a team that has really bought into him for the first time and really shown that kind of belief. And I think I'm hoping it's one of those stories where you look back and say, like, he needed a team to believe in him, and it's allowed him to be a valuable player for this team. So I'm excited to watch him. I think he's a guy that maybe not a lot of people are expecting much from, especially, those more casual fans. And I would hope that he's one of the team, he's going to be a breakout player, at least in my eyes, that I think for the season.
Okay. All right. I've got Ben Williamson. I think he's going to be that breakout guy to watch. And then you talked a little bit about being a utility guy. He's also another utility guy that can pretty much play anywhere too as well. And he's had a great spring so far. He's had 2 dingers. I know he's hitting about 360 right now. The defenses look great too as well. And I think a lot of people, once the Walls news came out, they were like saying, okay, maybe Williamson will probably be the starting shortstop and then have Carson back him up. It's probably not looking at that way right now. Is Carson's going to be the starting shortstop? But I think with Williamson there, it gives a little bit of breathing room for Junior too on off days where Junior's not going to be, playing third. They could just slide in Williamson too as well and have him play third base. So a lot of people are like, okay, he was involved with that 3-team trade. He came over from Seattle. A lot of people are like, well, why do we get him? We already have a third baseman. It's like, well, this guy's kind of a utility knife with the team too as well. And if he's, showing a lot of the power bat that we've seen throughout the spring, then that gives another pop to the lineup that's been kind of lacking that pop in the lineup too as well, which we talked about before. It's kind of lacking pop, and that's what the Rays need in this lineup. So if he can hit like that, like he's been hitting in the spring, and use the defense as well, I think that's a guy that's he could be like a Ben Zobrist type, and we all know how Ben Zobrist was with the team. So I think Ben Williamson is my breakout to watch this 2026 season.
Yeah, and I think the exciting thing with Ben is that he has a reputation. He's the Rays' favorite kind of player. It seems like, right? Glove first, light hitting. But he's so young in his MLB career. Like, you would hope that he can kind of like what we thought with Taylor. Like, you can maybe grow into a little bit of pop, and we don't necessarily. The story is not yet written on Ben Williamson and what kind of a major league player he is. Obviously, he wows you with the glove at first, but you're hoping if he can just kind of grow into
hey, we might need him at second base because Gavin Lux was sat out again with a cranky shoulder, and I'm tired of seeing these cranky posts about cranky shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, he didn't play he hasn't played great this spring. It's kind of I don't know. It feels like he's not in a groove, and it's tough because
if he turns out to be like another Ha-Sung Kim, I'm gonna be mad, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, you always wonder with guys like that, like new team, not really getting off to a great start in the spring. And I know people write off spring and they don't necessarily care. People say it doesn't matter, but like, I think getting off to a good, like just getting in a good rhythm. And I don't think he's been able to do that. So I'll be honest, I don't have like the highest expectations for Gavin Lux to start the year. I just don't feel like he's in a good rhythm right now. Maybe I don't know anything and he'll be fine. But I think Williamson and Vlade, I mean, you could see a scenario where Lux is, the shoulder just keeps bothering him. So they give him an IL stint to start just to kind of make sure he's right for most of the year. And Williamson and Vlade are all of a sudden are guys that they're going to more frequently. I think then to connect back, right, you'd see probably Richie Palacios come up.
Yeah, play second.
Yeah. So But I like the Williamson pick.
All right, biggest X factor going into this year. I'm going to go first. I'm going to say Shane McClanahan. I think Shane's going to be one of the biggest X factors for the rotation this year. He seems to be 100% healthy. He had a great start the other day, which he pretty much was all excited after having that great start, saying, "Hey, we effing did it. I'm back. We're gonna roll with this." So if he stays healthy and has the pitcher that we saw being a Cy Young candidate a few years ago, this rotation is going to be somewhat scary. Now, obviously, with Nick Martinez struggling this spring, it is a big question mark at the number two spot. But if Shane can get back to that, Cy Young number one ace stature that we've seen him be, this rotation is going to be good, and I think he's going to be the biggest X factor because everybody in the clubhouse looks to him, as that guy, and
right.
with him coming back as 100%, I put in that quotation because he's 100%. That's it. I mean, if he's ready to go and then lock and load and be that guy, and he's hitting, the MPHs and looking good, biggest X factor for me is Sugar Shane McClanahan. So, and I just bought a nice PSA 9 autographed rookie card of his, so he better pan out.
There you go.
What do you got?
I think Chandler Simpson is my X factor.
It's because of the home run the other day, right?
If he could hit 30 to 35 bombs this year, that would be incredible. Now, look,
our good buddy Steve Carney said he's going to steal 75 bases this year, and
that he was going to lead in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
I know. In all seriousness, I think he's probably my biggest X factor. I think that if he can show improvement in the outfield defensively, right? I don't think they need him to be, in center, obviously, with Cedric and DeLuca and Melton potentially at times this year. They've got center locked down. I think if he can show,
and look, it helps working with the great Kevin Kiermaier,
friend of the program,
friend of the program.
Yeah. I mean, if he shows improvement in the defense in the outfield and left field, and can be somebody that's reliable, dependable out there, and he's able. We've seen him. He's worked on the bunting in the offseason and in the spring, right? He's obviously this newfound power hitter, hitting a wall scraper home run to right field. Apparently, I read it would have been a homer in 15 out of 30 parks, by the way.
Hey.
So
that's 50%.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Not a cheapie. But I think if he's able to play essentially every day because he can be dependable in the outfield, I think it's just the whole profile is going to be so much more valuable to the Rays as a guy that can get on base, that can, steal bags. We know he's going to steal. And then I think it's going to go a long way in making this offense more robust and more versatile. Thank you. And just having that as a weapon offensively, knowing, more often throughout, throughout the season, most of the week, right? Because he's playing every day, because he's reliable defensively. I think I like that version of the Rays a lot. If he's struggling in the field and he's, not getting the consistent playing time, then because of the liability that he would be defensively, I just think that it's going to make things a little more difficult.
Okay.
And he's so versatile offensively. He can, you can put him at the top, you can put him at the bottom.
Which is a great segue into our next segment, lineup predictions.
I'll tell you what.
I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad that you picked
I'm
glad that you picked Chandler Simpson. And Kevin Cash he likes to toy around with lineups. Him and Joe Madden come from the same school of thought about toying around with lineups. To me, and I'll probably get a lot of people probably on X or whatever, kind of maybe saying no. I would love to see Chandler as the leadoff guy for the lineup. What do you think? I like him up there because he's got speed. If he gets on base, boom, that's an automatic, fast runner that's going to go around the bases if you get a base hit. I like him at the leadoff spot. I know there's some projections saying he should be down, down at like the 8 or 9 spot. But I'd like to have him at, the top of the order, or maybe put him at 9th.
Yeah, I think in general, I think I'd like to have him in the leadoff spot if it were up to me.
Yeah.
Let's say they're going against a right-handed batter or right-handed pitcher, excuse me. I mean, he could hit both lefties and righties, but I think I'd like to have him at the top of the order if they're prioritizing speed. And it's more conventional, right? Because we're more used to seeing guys at the leadoff spot. I mean, you have like Shohei Ohtani in the leadoff spot, Ronald Acuna, which those guys aren't slow, right? They're obviously got some speed, but like Chandler's more of that old school leadoff hitter, contact approach, big on the base paths. I like that just because I think it's going to give a lot more opportunity. Not saying that Jonathan or Yandy can't get on base, but you like the opportunity for Yandy or Jonathan or Junior if Chandler's on base ahead of him or
Yep.
ahead of them, getting around to second, maybe even to third, and just having more run scoring opportunities for the top half of the lineup. But I think they're going to bat him down. If I had to make a prediction about what that would look like for most of the
All right,
season,
let's
I
go
think
through it.
they're
What's your projected lineup for opening day?
well, opening day is interesting. So my general thought is I think they're going to bat him down.
Mm-hmm.
I would be surprised if they don't, because I think they value Yandy in the leadoff spot. That's where he's comfortable. That's where he's been for a few years now. So I think generally they're going to to answer your question, Chandler further down. I think in the 9 hole.
Okay.
Opening day. So they're going against a lefty, Matthew Liberatore, former Rays prospect, traded for the only Jose Martinez and another guy named Randy Arozarena. So he's a lefty. So I think that's obviously that makes things a little different. So you're going to have Yandy leading off.
Okay.
I think I'm already questioning because I would think they go Junior.
See, I'd put Aranda at number 2.
Yeah, I don't,
and then have Junior at 3.
and I think that's something. A bigger picture is where you put Junior. I think with the last few games he's been batting 4th. Now, obviously, they had Fiducia batting 2nd today. That's not happening. He's not inspired any confidence in me. Just as a side note, but I think you want Junior batting no lower than 3rd because you want him getting at bats every first inning, guaranteed. So I think opening day, I'm just going to say Yandy.
Okay.
I think they'll go. I think they'll go Junior, and then I'm going to say Jonathan.
Okay.
All right. Then I'm going to say they're going to go Ryan Vilade.
Okay.
And then so where am I at?
I think you're at 5.
5. Okay, so I think they go. I need to look at a roster. Hold on one sec.
I'll tell you mine.
You go ahead.
So we differ on a couple things. So I've got Yandy at 1, Aranda at 2, Junior at 3. Depending on if Lux is going to be on the opening day because he's been injured, I would even put Williamson start him at second base and put him after Caminero. Then Mullins, Johnny DeLuca after Mullins. God, the bottom of the lineup's so iffy. And then the 7th, 8th, and 9th spot, maybe Fortes after DeLuca, and then you can put either Simpson or Williams either at the 8 or 9, one of those two. I'd put maybe Williams at 8 and then Chandler at 9. Because if he gets on base, you got a speedster on base, and then Yandy's up, and you could probably slap him in. So that'll be my lineup for opening day.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Yandy. Batting first.
Okay.
Your DH.
Okay.
All right, and we're back. Okay, I think we had some technical difficulties. My screen froze.
It's okay.
Don't know what happened. All right. Yandy Jr., Jonathan, Ryan Valade in right field. I think Ben Williamson's going to be your starting second baseman on opening day, batting fifth, because I don't think they're going to want Carson batting up in the order to start. That's
Lux
just my
is being
opinion.
cranky. Lux is being cranky.
Yeah, and I think the plan is not to have Lux against lefties anyway. So I think Ben Williamson, second base, batting fifth. Batting sixth, I think you're going to see. I think it would be. Let's see. I think they're going to go Cedric. See, that's the thing is, are they going to not start Cedric Mullins after signing him? I think they go Cedric Mullins against the lefty, and then they go Johnny DeLuca in left. And then you're at the 8 hole. I think Carson Williams and then Nick Fortes. I don't know if Chandler's going to get the start against the lefty right now.
Yeah.
On opening day. I think if he does, it's because they start him over Cedric and move Johnny to center. But opening day, I feel like you're going to put Cedric out in center field. That's just my opinion. I think if it wasn't opening day, I think you would see potentially Chandler's playing, but I think opening day, you signed Cedric to be your starting center fielder. He can, they're going to play him against lefties for the most part, I would imagine. I don't think they're going to sit him. And yeah, so that's my lineup.
Okay. All right, let's get into some bold takes. Let's be bold. What's your bold take for this year?
Oh man. All right, my bold take is I don't know if this is bold. It's hard to know. I think that Drew Rasmussen gets Cy Young votes. I want to say Drew Rasmussen
is that bold though? That's like,
well, okay. Here, I'll say Drew Rasmussen is top 5 in Cy Young votes.
Okay,
I'll put him up there a little bit. I don't think he's getting any pub. So
okay.
Yeah, I think his ratios are going to be great. And I think top 5 Cy Young, AL Cy Young.
All right, here's my bold take. I've got two.
Oh, you got 2?
I got 2. One's kind of like, it'll probably happen, so it's not really bold, but the second one will be bold. It'll be kind of like a prediction. Junior will hit 50 home runs.
Okay.
Bold take number 2. The Rays will make a blockbuster trade at the deadline, but they will be buyers, not sellers this year. They will make a blockbuster trade. They will be buyers, though, not sellers. There's a fly right in front of me. I want to smack one.
I can't wait to go run this back.
That's why they're bold. That's why they're bold takes. That's why they're bold.
Well, shoot. I feel like I need one more.
You should have one more. 2's better than none. 2's better than 1.
I think Dominic Keegan is your Rays starting catcher by
the All-Star break.
I think in the second half. Yeah, by the second half.
Okay. After that blockbuster trade.
Yeah. You could just say the blockbuster trade, I guess, could be the catcher, but yeah, Dominic Keegan's the Rays starting catcher in the second half. And I'm not talking like end of the year. I'm talking like he's playing meaningful games, and he's
hey, we're bringing him up because he's going to make an impact the rest of the way. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay. All right, let's wrap it up with our season outlook for the Rays. Everybody's got the Rays placing either 4th or 5th in division. Made a lot of offseason moves, traded away players, brought in some aging veterans. Lineup looks a little different, but not different. The rotation looks a little bit different. Got some vets in there that are going to eat up innings. Hopefully Nick Martinez can get it together for the opening week. The bullpen looks pretty good. Bullpen solidified too as well. What's our season outlook, Drew? I know the expectations for this team is, hey, hopefully they win more games than last year and improve upon with the guys that they brought in. We're back at Tropicana Field. Tropicana Field is brand spanking new turf, new everything, new food, new energy, new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
What's our season outlook for the Rays? I think for me, with everything that's been going on the past year or so, with the sale, with new ownership coming in, the possibility of a new stadium becoming hopefully soon. I know there's some I wouldn't say issues that have been popping up about the cost because the costs are going up higher, but the Rays have already said, hey, we're going to cover these costs and everything. I think they're going to announce it on opening day at the Trop. Hey, we got this deal done. But of course, that's a bold take for me. I think with everything surrounding the team that, the fan base has gotten the bad taste out of their mouth from previous ownership. And now we have an ownership group that cares about the team, is front facing in front of the fans and wanting to be there involved too as well. I think we're going to see a rejuvenated team going into 2026. I know a lot of people have counted out the Rays too as well, but I think the Rays are going to be more competitive than what people think they are going to be. Now, it also goes on. They stay healthy, they're hitting, and they're playing good defense. And that's all the three factors in for making what a good team is supposed to be. So I think they're going to be competitive this year. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people going into the season. Obviously, those are my high hopes. That's the season outlook. I think Shane McClanahan's going to be returned to form. He'll be that ace that we haven't seen in a while. He's back. He's pumped up. He's got the energy back too as well. And then, the lineup hopefully will stay together and we'll hit and not have some, not be the run, the lineup that we're used to, not scoring a lot of runs. Hopefully this lineup will score a lot of runs this year or two as well. And Junior Caminero could be an MVP candidate. So we'll see going into this season. That's my season outlook for the Rays. What about you, Drew?
Well, I need to know, do you think the Rays make the playoffs?
I don't know.
That's the real prediction, right?
I think that's TBD. I mean,
I'm gonna say something.
Yeah. I want them to make the playoffs. It's just there's a lot of hills to climb to get there, and it's a long season. So if you wanted to ask me today if you think they're going to make the playoffs, I would say no, not today. Now, as the season goes on and we see how this team is going to be during the regular season, we'll revisit this at the All-Star break, see how they are. But as of right now, I would say no. Will they be better than last year? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be better than last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think and I don't care what people say. I think they sneak in. I think they sneak in as a third wild card.
Okay.
I only say that because I think the pitching and defense is going to be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a guy like Cedric in center field is going to make a big difference. Having the ability to move Johnny DeLuca around a little bit, in some left field as well, I think is going to make a difference in the outfield defense. And I like going back to the Trop. I think the pitching is going to be better. I think we're going to see better results. And we're a team built around pitching and defense, and I think the Trop allows us to do that better than Steinbrenner.
Final prediction: will attendance be better?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a bump because people are excited to be back at the Trop, and with new ownership, I think there's going to be a bump. People are excited about that, and hopefully the improvements in the stadium and the fan experience are real, and people, and that brings people back. And then hopefully the team's doing well.
Yeah.
And that'll bring people back. So yeah, I think it's increased attendance than what we saw in 2024. I think the Rays manage. I think that means they probably finish third in the division.
Okay.
I really don't. I think if they're a wild card is one, because also too, like I'm always biased. I mean, it's hard for me not to think that they could be a playoff team unless it was just blatantly obvious. But and it's hard to say that when the predictions have them all mentioned last in the division. It feels crazy to be like, oh, like it's super homerish just to be, oh yeah, they're going to be a playoff team.
Right.
I think that it's a classic case of, the Rays being slept on, other teams being overvalued simply because of last year or because they're a bigger market team.
Yep.
And I think the Rays thrive in those situations. And yeah, I mean, why not?
Okay.
And why would I want to go into a season miserable when I'm playing to watch, 150 plus games? Like I'm gonna have a little. Every year I always have a little optimism.
I do too.
Especially
I think they're going to be better than last year. I think there's just a brand new energy with this team. So I'm still on the fence if they'll make it.
what.
We'll see.
Okay, can we have real quick? I know we're at the end here.
Yeah.
So in my mind, right, or everybody's saying the Rays are going to finish last. How do you see the AL East playing out? So I mean, like you're kind of saying that the Rays aren't going to be a playoff team, right?
I didn't.
Well, okay, but if you had to say yes or no, you would say no, right?
I would
Like,
say no right
sure.
now.
Right.
Yeah, I would say no right
So
now.
okay, so in your mind, then where does that? How is it just division wise? AL
think-
East. What do you think?
I think they're right in the middle. I think they
So
are.
what? But take me through. Like I know we don't talk a ton about some of the other teams, but
I
just
would
get to
say
predict what that division looks like.
Blue Jays probably command the division again.
Mm-hmm.
And see with the Yankees, they somehow seem to still be in it, even though I don't think they're just a
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the Red Sox, I think the Red Sox are in the middle of it. I know a lot of people said, the Orioles made a lot of great moves this offseason. I don't think they did. I mean, you brought in the polar bear, and that was pretty much it. The pitching that they got with Shane Baez and bringing Eflin back doesn't really do anything for the rotation wise. They're a young team, but they brought in a bunch of aging veterans and question marks. I think the way it just shakes out, I think the 2, 3, 4 spots, I think they're up in the air.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. And I think you'll see that throughout the season. And you never know. The number one spot could be interchangeable too, just depending on how, if the Blue Jays don't have like the World Series hangover from last year. So but I think with every year with the AL East, it's unpredictable because every team in that division is, good. I mean, the AL East is the best division in the whole league, I think. And that's our opinion. Maybe it's biased because our team is in it, but with that division, it's almost like an interchangeable 1, 2, and 3, 4 every single week. Who's gonna be, who's gonna be it? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I would say on paper, Blue Jays will probably be the top spot for right now.
Yeah, I tend
just on paper.
I think they have the deepest lineup.
Yeah.
And I think with Cease, I'm not the biggest. Like, I don't think Dylan Cease is just this incredible pitcher. I realize he has high strikeout numbers, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think. I think though that he provides a ton of depth, and they've got enough veterans and some young up and coming guys.
The Red Sox will be good because of just the amount
fit.
of young talent that they have on that team now with Roman Anthony and all those guys. I think the Red Sox will be,
and it's hard because it's like if Roman is legit and he's really good, then yeah, they look a lot better. I think their pitching is going to be really good with Crochet and Suarez.
Yeah,
and they have a really good bullpen. I mean, Chapman's shut down at the back end, so I would say I have the most confidence in the Red Sox and Blue Jays. And then, yeah, the Yankees have always felt like they overachieve based on what I'm seeing with their roster. Like, I don't think they have a great team. Like, I don't know. They get a lot out of their pitching staff, and Fried's great, but and Garrett Cole's coming back. But
Cole's coming back. Yeah, but if he's going to be, is he coming back 100%? Coming off of that surgery and everything. So
and they're up in the air. And again, it's all like injuries too. I mean, if Judge goes down, you don't want to see that because Aaron Judge is great and he seems like a great guy. And I actually, I like outside.
I rooted for him during the WBC. So
yeah, outside of his success against the Rays, or lack thereof, but I don't. I like him. Like, I don't want to see him get hurt. But like, he goes down. I mean, Lord, I don't know what the Yankees would do. They're just so top heavy that it feels like it's a house of cards. So, and then the Orioles, I'm down on the Orioles. I don't know why. I understand Gunnar and them probably going to have bounce back years, and that's going to make them better. But I'm with you. Like, I don't think their pitching is going to be good. Like, I don't think we're going to look at their rotation and just think, oh my goodness, like they made.
Well, it goes back to that Boss trade. It's like they gave up so much of their
and
farm
that got
just
a lot of praise, but
no,
I don't know. I don't see it. So I think it goes Blue Jays, Red Sox. I think I'd have to say, you know what? The Rays could finish fourth technically. I think it's Yankees, Rays, and somehow it just works out. Like, I think the AL East is good enough that we see all three AL East, all three wildcard teams from the AL East. And then the Orioles are in the back, but I don't think they're far off either. It's just, I think that they're,
I don't see them losing like 100 games or anything.
No.
It's going to be,
they're going to be a good team. I just don't think, I think that I like the Rays pitching and defense better personally. Okay. And then World Series. You gotta say World Series.
We're doing World Series picks already?
Yeah, just do World Series. You guys give one pick. We can't not do a season.
Obviously, my NL pick is probably the Dodgers because we all know the Dodgers are going to be back there again, but they have to be healthy. I would say Dodgers. Man, it was coming out of the AL, though. All right, what's your pick? I'll come back to me. I have my NL. Who's your pick for the World Series?
I think.
Do you want to do a rematch with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers?
No, I'm not going to say the Dodgers because that's boring, and I don't really want the Dodgers to win, to be honest with you. I don't want the Blue Jays to win the World Series, so I'm going to say the Mets.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to say the Mets because I think Peralta does well and leads the pitching rotation, and then I think they just go and get some big name. They could go get like let's say I don't know why the Tigers would be out of it, but like they in theory could go get like a Tarek Skubal.
Yeah.
At the deadline. Tigers aren't going to do that unless they're out of it. I don't think the Tigers will be out of it, but I think the Mets could go and make a big move at the deadline in pitching. And with that lineup, like I think they're going.
Here you go. I could see Seattle going back to it, getting back there to the ALCS and then getting over that hump, and then getting to the World Series again.
Pitching at that park specifically, they're so good there. And who knows what that team looks like if Raleigh's not hitting 60 bombs, but I'm going to go Mets just to be different. And I'm probably going to just absolutely laugh at myself.
Say Rays.
But because they're probably going to blow it somehow. But yeah, I'll go to the New York Mets.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, let us know what your predictions are. Let us know what you thought of our predictions for this year, our bold takes and X factors and all of that. Hit us up in the comments at YouTube and also Instagram too as well. Make sure to go our YouTube page at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind, also our Instagram page too as well. Remember, the giveaway is still going on until opening day, so you got less than a week away to get that Junior Caminero auto. So make sure to go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe and notification bell when new episodes drop. For myself and Drew, this has been the Rays Rewind Podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. We'll see you again. Sweet.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind with Bushman and Drew on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.